Mental Joan, welcome to Gaming. I am Saber117 and this is Ghost of a Tale. It's a new kind of indie action-adventure game by Scythe SG? I don't really know how to pronounce it. Currently in early access on Steam with Scythe, or however his name is, saying that it's about 30% finished. So I'm here to give a quick impressions, kind of my thoughts on where the game is right now. So first things you have to know, and first thing you notice, the game is set in a world of anthropomorphic animals, and you are playing the part of Tilo the Mouse Minstrel. You wake up here in this dungeon, separated from your wife and child. All you know is that you want to get them back, and that's it, off you go. So I think the first thing that I kind of want to say about the game is, it looks brilliant. The aesthetic of it is fucking fabulous. I just love the design of Tilo. I love the graphics are great. This is all done by one guy, and that just blows my mind. It really, really does. That one man could do something that makes something look this good. Tilo's cute as balls. Look at this. He's a fucking cute wee mouse, clambering up stuff, running about. As I understand, Scythe was previously like an animator for DreamWorks or I think Universal Studios, so he's got this great animation background, so perhaps it's not surprising that it looks great. But so the first and major gameplay component of Ghost of a Tale is that it's a sort of stealth. It's mainly a stealth game. You are going to be a lot smaller and a lot weaker than any of the enemies in it. I don't know if there's going to be more than just rats, but the rats have thus far been the primary antagonist, and as you can see they are a lot bigger and a lot scarier than wee Tilo. So you have to rely on stealth and hiding basically to get around. The thing that it most closely reminds me of actually is Styx, Master of Shadows, in the style of the stealth. Or, at least in the fact that you kind of have this kind of third-person perspective, you're sneaking around, you're a lot smaller, you can't really engage people directly. Although there's none of the climbing and parkour that's present in Styx. It also kind of falls under the category of this sort of almost like old school, almost text adventure. Not text adventure, that's not right. Metroidvania style game where you interact with characters and they'll give you quests and information, and you go back and forth across the world. So while interacting with characters, they'll give you wee side quests like this guy has just done there, and a lot of the time they'll involve traversing pretty much the entire map, and you'll backtrack a lot. You'll find that you'll want to, that accessing one area will then give you something which will allow you to come back and access other areas, like getting this jail master key, for example, which you don't have at the moment. At some point you'll be able to come back and get in there. The sneaking is, and the reason I say it's very like Styx is it has this awareness meter, and it's about, you know, making sure that the awareness doesn't raise too high. It's not perfectly well designed though, because you'll notice that this, I'm just running around now, right around the corner from him, and he doesn't make any difference. As soon as you sort of break the line of sight of the enemy, then their awareness drops back down to 0. So it's very possible to not break the game, but essentially manipulate it so that you don't need to be as sneaky as I feel like you should. It ought to be that you need to sneak almost constantly. The rat ought to be able to hear you around that corner, realistically. But he can't. So it kind of eliminates quite a lot of the tension from the game. Another problem, you notice I'm jerking a lot in my movement here. The movement is jerky because I'm playing with the mouse and keyboard, and the game is supposedly designed with PC in mind, but yet I feel like you need a controller to properly be as sneaky as you'd like, as you need to be to move slowly enough. You can also see that you can distract guards with bottles and sticks and so on. So there are other ways of getting around bad guys. So you can see that this guy, at least, he's an amusing character, and I think a lot of the characters are quite amusing. I feel like that's one of the best parts of the game, is that the characters are quite interesting. It's fun to interact with them. They're all quite amusing and interesting in their own way, really. So that, along with the aesthetic, is I think the two best things of this game. It makes it a really vibrant, well, an interesting world. Perhaps vibrant's not the right word though, because you notice everything's just run down and dilapidated. Scythe says he took a lot of inspiration from Dark Souls, and while perhaps not in this sense that it's extremely fucking difficult, it is all very depressing in a sense. Despite this kind of intro where they said the rats have beaten this evil green flame, there isn't any really good guys. It's all secrecy and darkness and these big rats who are just wandering around being intimidating. Yeah, so you'll notice it's very easy to manipulate the system and avoid the guards. So while the world looks interesting, and it's interesting to explore, the actual gameplay aspect of it is significantly less well designed in my mind. I feel like a large amount of it is just far too easy. Avoiding the guards is oftentimes, it can start just feeling more like a nuisance rather than intense and scary, because they're so well designed, and because it's just, and you kind of can get this really scary chase music as well. They should be intimidating. You should be constantly practically terrified of them. And it feels like you could be. It feels like there's the ability for you to be that scared of the guards. But then, because the stealth is just kind of not all that great, it makes it just means like the gameplay is, well, just like a sideshow. It's not really as important for the game. It's like minor aspect of it. It does look great though, I have to say. I cannot say it enough. I mean, how cute Tilo is and how scary the guards are. And I'd love to keep exploring the game and see more of it. You notice as well, of course, that the way I'm playing at the minute is there's this kind of ties in with that Metroidvania thing. There's a lot of exploration, there's a lot of collecting stuff. For example, there are costumes which will allow you to change the way you can interact with people, and when you complete the costumes they will give you bonuses and they give you essentially a disguise. And it again opens up other areas of the game, and I think that's quite well designed as well. I quite like the way that the game feels like it opens up as you get along. You'll find like secret passages back into areas you've already been in. You'll find other routes that tie the map together, so that instead of just being like a linear path, you'll suddenly have all these kind of twisting routes going back and forward. And you know, you'll try and find all these secrets throughout it, which is fun, and I really enjoy that aspect of it. So here's an example. We found the thief boots. Which you can use as part of the thief costume, and that gives you some bonus in talking to some mice later who think you're a thief. And you can use the parrot costume when speaking to the frog. At the moment, of course, they're all incomplete. I just have parts of them. The guards as well, another downside, they don't feel like living, breathing creatures. Like, you notice I barely cared about the presence of that guard. I just ran right past him. He didn't notice where I was. And while it's super cute that you clamber over his unconscious body, that's just awesome. They don't feel like living, breathing creatures. While they can be super scary and intimidating, and you know, you feel like you need to avoid them, they don't feel like actual guards. For example, this guy, he's just an automaton on rails. He just goes he just goes up and down this corridor. And it doesn't matter if he notices you. It doesn't matter, you know, if he doesn't. Because in the end, first of all, it's easy to escape him. And then he's just going to go straight back to his rails. You see, this is the other downside of this stuff. Not only does it feel too easy at times, but it's way too easy to escape the guards. There is no punishment for being seen, essentially. It doesn't make life harder for you. It doesn't mean that now this, like, all the routes are changed, all the guards are going to be alerted. No. They're just, oh, it must have been my imagination, back to their rails. Which is a real shame. It's a real shame, because it makes the game just feel, well, just less, it makes it feel less alive. You know, I mean, you notice how easy it is to escape this guard. I'm barely trying, honestly, to avoid him now at this stage. I'm just messing around. So here you notice this is one of the first of the things opening up. Now we're back to this area. Just a small, like, wee side thing to make life easier. But already now that's the map beginning to open up a little bit, allowing you to explore further, get around it quicker. And you notice as well, this is you can get, but now back to this. Mechanics, you can escape guards just by getting farther away from them. They don't try and alert each other. I mean, alert guards can wander right past, like, patrolling guards after you, and I don't think they'll alert each other. Then you get out into something like this, and you're like, wow, this is awesome. This is so cool. This is like rushing and breaking down jail. It looks great. I'd love to explore this, and it has all these twisted and interconnecting paths and hidden secrets. And there's a few characters to interact with who will give you quests and bits of lore. So now I've just quickly loaded up the same game. This is now basically in the last. At this stage, I have completed everything available in the 30% of the game that's available. So I have my guard uniform, which is fucking adorable. I mean, look at this shit. Look at this shit. That's so cute. And it's funny, and so you have to think about it though in the game from either a mechanical or a story perspective. If you like the world, if you feel like, oh wow, I'd love to see more of it, I'd like to interact with more of the characters, figure out more of the story, then it makes a lot of sense to keep playing it because of just how good it feels. Okay, so now I'm just going to show you a few minor gripes though I have. So for example, you notice that I had full stamina bar as a guard. Taking off all the clothes, he loses all the stamina for some reason, even if you put on a new outfit. Another minor gripe, and this is something that really fucking needs to be changed. I'm holding forward here essentially, I'm holding forward and you just get stuck there. You also see like loads and loads of things clipping in and out of each other. Like Tilo's mandolin, for one thing, has a really bad habit of spazzing out. A lot. All the time, really. So yeah. So that's just that covers most of it, really. There's a few kind of minor mechanical and animation issues like that, the spazzing out and the things clipping through each other. But I really struggle to whether or not to recommend the game or not, because it all depends upon what you like. If you like story, if you like the idea of exploring this world, then perhaps this game is for you. If you feel like you are looking for a great stealth game though, a great stealth action adventure game, then this is not for you. You really have to see it that way. But yeah, for now, thanks very much for watching, folks. Sub out.